I don't want to do this. I'm telling you, I'm not
Look,
comfortable
it's
with this
gonna
at all.
work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Great, like the bag lunches worked.
Here's what's gonna happen.
Back.
We've got the crepes. We've got the crepes. They're double layered. They look like skin and blood. So that when they pull it off, it's gonna look like you're bleeding all over the place. We've got the actual goopy flesh to go on the inside. So once they pull it off of you, this is what they're gonna eat. They're not gonna be eating you.
I can do this.
You can do this. That's right. Man up. Man up already. All right, we're gonna get an arm on you. Get another one on you. Let's just start.
This
Get
is
in the
not gonna
flesh.
end well.
This is gonna end beautifully. This is gonna end beautifully. It's gonna get us out of here. We have been here for 917 days or 7. I'm really not sure. There's not a window in here. We are gonna. You can do it. You can do it. Look at this. You already look like a victim. You already look like somebody's already been gnawing
I've been
on you.
stuck down here
You're
with
just
you.
gonna
I'm already a victim.
That's true. All right. You can do this. You can do this. You are going to do this because otherwise I will hit you in the face.
All right,
Go! Go! Just go!
No! God, I hope I'm delicious.
Just kill him already. I want to get some sleep.
That's my toe.
It's quiet down here. I mean, I hate that guy, don't get me wrong, but I didn't think it'd be this quiet down here without his voices or anything. It's, oh man, I'm hallucinating, aren't I?
Better luck next time.
Oh, you're dead. You're in my imagination. Crazy Eyes got to me, didn't he?
No.
Are you eating my clothes?
No, I pinched you.
What? Hugh, eat this. Prove you're alive.
I'm not eating guts.
They're not guts, it's cinnamon rolls. I made special cinnamon rolls because I thought if I just roped them around myself and just covered myself completely in them when I was walking out there, because I remember a hot Asian dude told me about this time that they were in Atlanta and they just had to like cosplay pretending that they were zombies and they shambled straight through. And do you remember hot Asian guy telling us about that? Mm-hmm. I do too. And so I just thought if I made like a really big pan of them that I could just loop it all around and have it just dripping all the way off of me. And you think that's a good idea? You think it'll work? You know what? While you've got your hand in there, just try wrapping some around your neck. Okay, or you can try making love to the pan. That's fine too. Oh shit.
No. So, that is some of the promos we're working on for
The Noshing Dead. In addition to being a co-host here, I also run a site called Kitchen Overlord that brings you all of your geeky, just really disgustingly geeky foods in October in particular, because I'm working on a Walking Dead cookbook. And one of the things I want to talk to people about today is the joy of making your theme party absolutely awesome by bringing in all kinds of crazy. I keep expecting him to be eating something behind me every time I'm not looking directly at him. So, let's say you're planning a theme party of some sort.
Obviously, for Halloween, you will be planning a Halloween party.
Exactly. You need to think about two things, your audience and your own personal cooking ability, if you want to make it really, really good. For the audience, the question is, do you have a bunch of kids there or do you have a bunch of adults? And are the kids like gory young kids or are they cynical teenagers? Because teenagers are kind of weird about these things. So basically, if you've got a bunch of people that can't handle the gore, small children or really, really, kind of wussy adults, you need to go with something really cartoony looking. If on the other hand you have people that, I would say the filter for this would be, very cartoony looking like these hands here. Those don't really look like something that's actually, it doesn't look real, and that's fine. If on the other hand you have some people that go to haunted houses, for example, or watch The Walking Dead every Sunday, go nuts. Go ahead and get as realistic as possible. One of my best counterexamples on this are some intestines that I made. So on the one hand, you've got these dirt simple, incredibly easy banana guts that are just, you wait till the bananas are almost black, add a little bit of food coloring, cinnamon and sugar, barely toss it in there, splat it down, and it really, you saw those ones.
Yeah.
They really look like actual human intestines. Takes 5 minutes, but it's really gory, and people are gonna freak out if they're not into that sort of thing. Or you can put a lot more effort into it and make something that's very, very cartoony looking. You can find this recipe on my site and all over the web with the puff pastry intestines. They look like intestines done by Disney or something like that. They're adorable. People will eat them and they'll go, tee-hee, intestines.
I want it.
You won't eat them?
No, I wouldn't go tee-hee because that's just,
Well,
know,
that's
not
true.
me.
You don't say tee-hee that often.
I don't say tee-hee. I go, whoa, I eat intestines.
So let's say that you're trying to figure out what to do for your Halloween party. For Halloween in particular, you want to break yourself down by body parts. The things that you don't want to do are hands and feet. Hands and feet are really, really hard. You may notice this is the best set of hands I've done yet, and that's because I literally just traced my own. It's really hard to do hands and feet. The things you want to focus on are ears, guts, and because people are expecting it, brains.
And you did a fantastic job with that.
Okay, that brain is so simple. Anybody that wants to make this at home, this is just a giant lump of Rice Krispie treats. All I did with it was, well, in this case, I added some red velvet, so he can't eat it because he has celiac. So keep that in mind for your party as well. If you know that people have various, intestinal issues, all you gotta do, get your Rice Krispie treats, add your red velvet, add a little bit of extra food coloring to it, make it in the shape of a football. Use a spoon to just rake down the middle of it, and just kind of use your fingers while it's still hot to just kind of make those like corpus callosum brainy bits in it, and you're good to go. You've got a nice edible display brain. The only reason I'm keeping it on this plastic is because butter, it gets a little greasy.
It's sticky too.
It is sticky.
But it smells so delicious.
It does. If for example, you're dealing with people that are gluten-free, you can do the exact same thing using popcorn to make popcorn balls with it. If they're vegetarians, you'll have to get vegetarian marshmallows if you're going to that level of extreme as well. But just use popcorn because popcorn's already got that great brainy texture anyway. Make that into a giant brain instead of the Rice Krispie treats. That works really well.
See, but I also think that would be kind of safe for children too, simply because kids that are celebrating Halloween this day, they're watching Walking Dead, they're doing all that stuff. If you got like a 2-year-old, they're not going to really care.
No, and that one's not terribly gory anyway. Another one that I think is a great one if you're looking for some just easy recipes, I've got 2 really good ones for ears because people don't really look at ears that much. You don't have to worry too much about detail. All an ear is, if you're breaking down body parts by shape because you're making something for a theme, is a big spiral connected by a thin membrane to a small spiral. It's all you're working with shape-wise. You know what that means?
Cinnamon rolls.
And shrimp.
Oh! Shrimp ears, though. What?
It's dead serious. All you need to do with that is you get your shrimp, you boil them up however you like. I added a whole bunch of Asian spices to it, and then you cut the fat top end off, put it inside the kind of C of the ear, because you've got, use a bamboo skewer to just go straight through that. So that you're holding it in place, break the bamboo skewer off. The great thing about The Walking Dead is it gives you an excuse to wear these as a necklace. You can just make up some cocktail sauce to go with it, splatter that all over yourself. Looks fantastic. You can also leave them on a tray if you prefer.
Shrimp necklaces, though.
Shrimp necklace.
Walk around, people just,
Sexy.
hey, that looks really delicious.
Yep.
Hey.
Gentlemen, you're welcome. If you, on the other hand, don't really want to be wearing a shrimp necklace around all night, alternately, a very easy cookie is called palmiers. It's literally just puff pastry, drown it in some butter, add some cinnamon sugar, and then you roll it in spiral-wise from both sides. Normally, they would be evenly sized spirals, but what you're going to do in this case is roll it 2/3 of the way on one side to get that big fat part of the ear, 1/3 of the way on the other side to get the small part of the ear. Cut them in 1-inch strips, bake them for 10 minutes. They puff up into ears. You can just put some kitchen twine through it and string them along. Easily wear those as a necklace, or just leave it, out for your party.
You're not wearing edible gore as necklaces. It's a little disturbing.
I really like The Walking Dead. I like it so much I'm writing a cookbook about it. And do you watch The Walking Dead?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember when Daryl Dixon came out with it? Yes. So the other part so we've got the brains, we've got the ears. Guts are another one that I mentioned earlier.
Guts seem really easy to do, though.
Guts really are easy to do, and I recommend them. There's tons of different ways to do guts. There's the 2 that I mentioned before with the puff pastry and with the bananas. Lots of people like to do pasta for guts. The intestines are a versatile organ.
They very much are. Plus, they're very edible and delicious if cooked correctly.
Another thing that you can also do, especially if you're going for the gore factor, is some sort of ripped open body effect. I've done several of these over at Kitchen Overlord. In one case, I had a whole bunch of crepes that I laid out with the red velvet crepes that are put on top of vanilla, and then just piled all the other things on top of those so that it looked like you just kind of flayed a corpse. Tonight, I brought along a, Oh, there we go. Tonight,
Doesn't it look delicious?
It does.
It's got a still beating heart in it.
And all you got to do for something along those lines, it's just a multi-berry cobbler, because that's going to froth up and get that nice gory, bloody effect going anyway. Couple of pie crusts. The ribs are made out of Pocky sticks that I shoved in there, and the heart, fruit leather. Just bunch up a bunch of fruit leather into a heart shape, put it in that big gaping wound that's the middle of the chest, get a little bit of blue food color and kind of draw some veins on it, and you are good to go. Just make sure you add your heart
I didn't
after
even
the
notice that
baking's done.
detail, the veins.
You know, sometimes some of us are really into details.
Wow.
The number one thing, though, no matter what you're doing, is don't get intimidated. Because people like me are going to make you think, oh, well, if I can't come up with all of this, then I shouldn't even bother. And you're wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with going to your store and buying the Halloween cake that they happen to have, you know, down in Kroger section. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing the dirt simple things that you see on every single website out there. Because all people want is a little bit of atmosphere out of their party. And that's the thing that makes any theme parties fun, whether it's for Halloween, The Walking Dead, Doctor Who, the 50th anniversary is coming up soon.
Someone wrote a Doctor Who cookbook? What?
Yeah, this is true. Whatever you're doing, though, stick with whatever your skill level is. Be realistic about your skill level. Try and find some recipes that fit into that. And the other thing that I would really recommend, and this is something that a lot of people don't keep in mind, don't stress over cooking. Because you know what? What is the worst thing that could happen if you mess up your cooking?
It burns, you just start over.
Exactly. Not even that. If you mess up your entire dinner, the worst thing that's going to happen is if you've only got $4 in quarters in your pockets, you can still go to a drive-through and get something off the value meal. It is a no-consequence activity. No one should treat cooking like it's the end of the world, even if you're doing post-apocalyptic cooking like this stuff. So be free to experiment. Get the cheap ingredients. Go ahead and get the cheapest generic thing of Rice Krispies, the cheapest generic thing of marshmallows. Play with it for $3 or $4 until you feel comfortable with it. And don't stress out over going like, I've got to get a whole rack of lamb and impress everybody if you've never made something like that.
Well, I think this is all brilliant. The things that you put up on Kitchen Overlord, I'm not going to lie, have always astounded me.
Thank you.
We've been showing some of the pictures on the sidebar as we've been going. This is what you do for fun? You just cook gross-looking food?
Well, this is actually what I do for a living. And that's another thing to keep in mind. Don't be intimidated by people like me. Don't be intimidated by the things you see on Pinterest. I do this all day, every day. I sit around, come up with the concepts, bake these things, photograph them, and write cookbooks. If you have a job and a life and a family, no, this isn't what just falls out of your brain at 2 a.m. because you have a job and a life and a family. Don't judge yourself against Pinterest. Never judge yourself against Pinterest. That is completely unrealistic and made of fail.
Which I agree, because I like all the Pinterest fails where, oh, it looks like this, but in reality it looked like this.
I'm actually going to be having a specialty ebook only cookbook come out in December of all of my personal Kitchen Overlord fails, just so that anybody that looks at this stuff is like, I could never make that. Like, guess what? Sometimes neither can I.